everyone, it's Chris from RatRaceRebellion.com. Far too often, as we're looking around the internet at work from home jobs and work at home job boards, we see posts from people saying things like, watch out for company X, they're a scam. They charge for background check. They're going to charge you for training. Run, you should never have to pay for work from home. And while we can understand their sentiments about never having to pay for work from home, oftentimes these posts are coming as a result of people not fully understanding the difference between being an independent contractor and being an employee. And as a rule, the kinds of jobs that they're talking about are actually independent contractor positions in which you should expect there to be at least some minor costs. So to try to help set the record straight and clear things up a little bit, I want to go over what the differences are between being an independent contractor and being an employee, just to maybe help people recognize that sometimes they're seeing something that's really a great opportunity, but the job classification is going to be independent contractor as opposed to employee. So, well, most people are already familiar with what being an employee is. I won't spend too much time on that. Most of us have been there, done that, and maybe are still doing it. But as an employee, as a rule, you're working for one company at a time. They dictate what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, and how you're going to be doing it. As a rule, if there's training involved for the job, you're going to receive that training for free and probably be paid while you're going through training. You're going to be receiving a paycheck on a regular basis, and taxes will be withheld from that paycheck. And if there are any benefits being offered by the company and you're meeting the criteria to receive those benefits, then you would. Now, as an independent contractor, things can be quite a bit different. As an independent contractor, you're working for yourself. And as a rule, you're going to be able to choose your own hours, choose when you work, and which clients you work for. You are probably going to be operating under a business name or a DBA. As a matter of fact, some companies, before they will work with you as an independent contractor, will require that you establish a formal business entity. More often than not, that's going to be a limited liability company. And that's so that they can have a formal business-to-business relationship with you, as opposed to having a business-to-individual relationship. It just helps to keep things a little bit clearer where the IRS regulations are concerned. As an independent contractor, you are probably going to have a separate business checking account. You may or may not have employees of your own. You may be advertising your business to other companies as well. So take, for example, if you look at some of the call center and customer service jobs that we list on this site, you'll see that we have jobs for independent contractors and employees. So let's say that you apply for a position as an independent contractor with one of those call centers, and you get a lot of work with them and they're keeping you pretty busy. It's still not a bad idea just to really solidify your status as an independent contractor to also be looking for other clients, not necessarily in the same sector. It doesn't have to be other call center clients. It could just be working as an independent contractor to do small jobs for other companies. It just helps, as I said, to reaffirm that you are an independent contractor in the eyes of the IRS, because they'll oftentimes be looking to see if you have more than one client to determine whether or not you truly are an independent contractor. You will have to work with your own tools, and as I said, you'll set your own hours, and you should be keeping separate business records, not something that you do as you're an employee. Perhaps one of the most important things to keep in mind is, as a contractor, the company that you're contracting to is not going to withhold any taxes from your pay. So you are fully responsible for your taxes to the state, your taxes to the IRS. If you're making any pension contributions to yourself, you're going to do that, and any other sort of government deductions you're going to be taking care of. So come tax time, you're going to owe the government that money. And if you're making decent money as an independent contractor, you're probably going to want to set up regular installments toward your year-end tax liability, and that way you're not going to get hit and caught off guard. Companies might insist that you have a background check. That's generally going to be an expense that's $45 or less. Again, they can't pay for it because they can't do that unless you're an employee. There may be costs associated with training to work on specific accounts with the customer. Remember, when you start working for, let's say, a call center, again, as an independent contractor, they're hiring you because they feel that you're well suited to do the job. Now, let's say that they have you answering the phones for a specific of their clients. The call center is your client, and you're servicing the call center's clients. So if you're answering phones for company XYZ, you need to be intimately familiar with company XYZ's product line, service line. If there's any upselling that needs to be done, you need to know a lot about that company. So your client is going to put you through a training program, perhaps to better understand company XYZ so that you can handle their accounts in a professional manner. And there may be a cost associated with that. You will not be at any point compensated for training because that would be against the IRS regulations. Some companies might train you for free, others might charge a fee, but regardless, you won't be compensated for the training time. One of the things that you need to consider, though, too, is as an independent contractor, well, it might sound like, why would I want to do that? As an independent contractor myself, and I have been for many years, worked for myself, the benefits are so many also. For example, if you have a dedicated workspace in your home, that is an area that is dedicated just to running your business as an independent contractor, you can take percentages off as tax write-offs. So for example, if you're paying a mortgage or rent, then you can take a percentage. Let's say you're using 15% of your home as dedicated office space. You can take 15% of your rent or your mortgage off as a tax deduction. You can also take off 15% of your utility bills, your heating bills. If you're in a condo, 15% of your condo fees. If you're using your car for business purposes, you can write off the mileage that you're using for business purposes. Likewise, let's say you're using your car 10% of the time for business related travel. Then you can write off 10% of your car payment, 10% of your auto repairs, 10% of emissions, 10% of car registration. There are many different tax deductions that you can take as a benefit. There's also the flexibility that you get as a self-employed individual. It's wonderful not having a boss per se, although you should bear in mind that you're really treating every one of your clients as a boss, that individual that you're responsible to at the end of the day, and you need to treat them with a great deal of respect or you'll find yourself clientless. But just the same, you do have more autonomy. You can work in your own way, on your own time, and for those clients that you find that you dovetail best with. So as you're considering your options, do I work as an employee or do I work as an independent contractor? Now you have a better idea of what being an independent contractor is all about and why there might be some fees and costs associated with that. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please share with friends and family who might also be on a job hunt who might find this helpful.